Hello everyone, my name is Amisha and in today's video I am going to be reading chapter 12, The One That Got Away. So let's get started. And what we have to remember to bring tomorrow? Mrs. Cooper asked. Something interesting, Mrs. Cooper, said everyone else all together. And what are we going to do then? Stand up and talk about it, Mrs. Cooper said the class. So don't forget, all right? Chairs on tables. Goodbye, class 4. Goodbye, Mrs. Cooper. Goodbye, everyone. Class 4 puts the chairs on the tables, collected its coats and went home, talking about all the interesting things it would bring to school the next day. Malcolm walked by himself. Mrs. Cooper had first told them to find something interesting on Monday. Now it was Thursday, and he had still not come up with any bright ideas. There were plenty of things that he found interesting, but the trouble was that they never seemed to interest anyone else. Last time this had happened, he had brought along his favorite stone and shown it to the class. Very nice, Malcolm, Mrs. Cooper had said. Now tell us what's interesting about it. He hadn't known what to say. Surely anyone looking at the stone could see how interesting it was. Mary was going to bring her gerbil. James, Sarah, and William had loudly discussed rare shells and fossils. And the only spider in the world with 5 legs. It can't be a spider then, said David. It had an ancient, William said. Isabel intended to bring her pocket calculator and show them how it could write her name in punching in 738051 and turning it upside down. She did this every time, but it still looked interesting. Malcolm could think of nothing. When he reached home, he went up to his bedroom and looked at the shelf where he kept important things. His twig that looked like a stick insect, his marble that looked like a glass eye, his penny with a hole in it, and the Siamese twins jelly babies. One red, one green, stuck together, back to back. He noticed that they were now stuck to the shelf too. His stone had once been there as well, but after class 4, he had said it was boring. He had to put it back in the garden. He still went to see it sometimes. What he really needed was something that could move about, like Mary's gerbil. or William's five-legged spider. He sat down on his bed and began to think. On Friday, after assembly, class 4 began to be interesting. Mary kicked off with her gerbil that whirled round its cage like a hairy balloon, with the air escaping. Then they saw William's lame spider, James' fossil, Jason's collection of snails stuck one on top of the other like the leaning tower of Pisa. And David's bottle conkers that he had kept in an airtight jar for 3 years. They were still glossy as new shoes. Then it was Malcolm's turn. He went up to the front and held out a matchbox. He had chosen it very carefully. It was the kind with the same label on top and bottom, so that when you opened it, you could never be sure that it was the right way up and all the matches fell out. Malcolm opened it upside down and jumped. Mrs. Cooper too. Malcolm threw himself down on hands and knees and looked under her desk. What's the matter? Mrs. Cooper asked. It's fallen out, Malcolm cried. What is it? Mrs. Cooper asked, edging away. I don't know. It's got 6 legs and sharp knees and sort of really ginger eyebrows on skulls. He pounced. There it goes. Where? Missed it, said Malcolm. It's running under your chair, Mary. Mary squeaked and climbed on to the chair because she thought that was the right way to behave when creepy crawlers were about. I see it, Jason yelled and jumped up and down. David threw a book in the direction that Jason was pointing, and James began beating the floor with a rolled up comic. I got killed. I killed it. I got it. I killed it, he shouted. It's crawling up the curtains, Sarah said, and Mrs. Cooper, who was standing by the curtains, rapidly moved away from them. It's over by the door, Mary shrieked, and several people ran to head it off. Chairs were overturned. Malcolm stood by Mrs. Cooper's desk with his matchbox. His contribution was definitely the most interesting thing that anyone had seen that morning. He was only sorry that he hadn't seen it himself. I am done with this story, and that was very interesting. Now it's time to end the video. Bye everyone, love you all. Make sure to like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. Bye.